Welcome back to another episode of 18 Questions. I am so incredibly excited to be joined by my good colleague and friend, Katie Radel of Ripple Consulting.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here and to see your face.
Yes, we're so excited to have you, Katie. And so we have put together curated 18 questions specifically for you, and we'd love to get started.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes, so excited.
Tell us a little bit about where you're from.
I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. I am a Midwesterner, but I have been in Nashville for 12 years now, which is hard to believe.
Time flies.
It does.
It does.
It does. I was here when, the financial crisis hit, and my first job here was at a bank, which is so ironic. But I remember the timing because I thought the coolest thing in the world was to go to Sambuca in the Gulch because that was like the only thing there, which is amazing to think about now.
Yes, that is amazing. In one sentence, tell us what you do.
I provide marketing and public relations consulting to companies that need to connect with their audience and create a long-lasting ripple effect.
Ooh, I love that.
Thank you.
Define PR in 3 words.
Positive image management.
Carefully chosen. I like it. You've been given an opportunity to do a modern day eat, pray, love. To which countries would you travel to do all 3?
Oh gosh. Thailand.
So yeah. Would you do all 3 in Thailand, or would you eat in Thailand, pray in Thailand?
I would do all 3.
Okay.
The food is incredible, and it is every time I eat Thai food, it connects me to a different world, and it kind of transports me, and that's what I love so much about different foods. And I've always just kind of dreamed of going there and going to temples, and I would love that.
I'll have to travel there someday.
Yeah.
Tell us about a situation in which you've had to use an uncomfortable laugh. You're like, this one?
When an uncomfortable laugh. I guess being on camera, doing a media interview, if someone's interviewing you or, they make a joke, you kind of have to laugh and fake it to kind of build that rapport and make it look like, everything's going great and you're having fun.
That makes sense. What is your number 1 tip on managing your brand during a crisis?
Be authentic. Be authentic. And with authenticity comes empathy. And I believe that many, many people have really missed the mark on empathy, especially lately. So, just maintaining that authenticity, speaking with empathy, connecting, being honest, and also not being afraid to be vulnerable, because that really connects all of us.
Absolutely. When you are older, what's a story that your child will tell about you?
That I had the guts to start my own business when I was almost 40, and I made it.
Love that. I was really hoping for one time we were in the car. This happened. I know. No.
He's really little now, so it's hard for me to kind of think. He's 2.5, so it's kind of hard for me to think of, okay, what is he actually going to remember?
Exactly.
But that's a really good point. I hope he just tells stories of me spending time with him and laughing and singing crazy songs that I make up, whether it's to him or to the dog, which really shows my personality, and that I don't take myself too seriously. And I hope he never does either.
I love that. Name one restaurant you could eat from your entire lifetime.
City House in Germantown. They have a Bellingham pizza. And you get it, we get it, with an egg cracked in the middle. So when you get that beautiful pizza, there's handmade mozzarella. And I mean, it is the most gorgeous thing ever. But you have that egg in there and it gets runny. And you dip the crust into that egg. And it's the best thing. And there's chili oil too. So like you have the salty and the heat and the creaminess from the egg. And oh, it's so good. Have you had it?
I have not had it,
Okay.
but Claire White, a previous guest on 18 Questions, she said the exact same thing. She loves that pizza, and especially I guess she said that the pizza is a favorite, first off, a fan favorite, but then she said only, locals know to put an egg on top, and you have to have it with the hot chili oil. That's so funny.
It's incredible. It's one of those things that you dream about. Uh-huh. And I've been dreaming about it a lot lately.
That is so funny. I'm going to have to go there.
Yes.
What's something you don't want to be doing in 10 years?
Regretting that I didn't take chances. I've always been really good at listening to myself and taking those chances. Sometimes it takes a little longer than others, but as I'm kind of getting older and I've had a career, I have learned to really listen to that inner voice that's saying you need to do something different. You need to do something on your own. You need to be doing something creative to inspire you. Although it's scary, I hope in 10 years, I don't look back and say, boy, I wish I would have written that book that's been on my heart or whatever it is.
Absolutely. When are you most inspired?
In nature. We live close to this, it's an agricultural center. It's right up the street. So I've been going for walks there almost daily just to get out of the house. Sure. And there's a combination of beautiful old trees and actually horses and fish and gardens. And it is the most beautiful place. And I'm so inspired by it. It just kind of allows your mind to take a rest. And that's when I, really listen to what's on my heart and take back what I've been inspired by.
I like that. To you, what does it mean to be an entrepreneur?
It is something that is inside. I believe that it has been inside of me for a long time, and it might be because I have a family of entrepreneurs, but it's in my DNA, and you don't really understand what it is to be an entrepreneur until you actually do it. Absolutely. Instead of just talk about doing it and think about doing it. You don't quite understand what it is until you do it, and this is actually my second business.
Okay.
So I had an event planning and marketing business about 10 years ago. And it was so fulfilling and wonderful, hard, so fulfilling and wonderful. And then I left to go to the corporate world. And that's really where I learned and I grew up. But I never could shake the feeling of wanting to have that fulfillment again. And that's why I'm here today with my second business.
How are you holding up during these times?
I've said a lot one day at a time. Some days it's 1 hour at a time. My husband and I are both working from home, and we do have the little one with us. And again, he's 2.5. So it's been such a beautiful, beautiful thing to have this family time we've created memories doing silly things. Like last night, we, spread out the pillows and blankets and watched an old cartoon movie. We've had fires, we've grilled out, we've done things. We've
had fires.
Yeah. Yeah. We've cooked a lot and just spent some time outside, and it has been such a beautiful time to have with family. But at the same time, it's been very difficult to juggle everything. But overall, I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful that we're doing it. We're doing it as a team, and I have a lot of love and support outside of these walls. That's really small sometimes. So that's helpful.
Good. What's a trend that you would like to see disappear?
Belly shirts. Gross.
So I'm assuming that's like what, crop tops?
Yeah, belly shirts is probably not the right term, but midriff bearing. Stop. And maybe I say that because that's my trouble spot, but
sure. What's one thing you've always wanted to try but have been too scared to?
Skydiving.
Oh, okay. It's still on your bucket list?
Yes. It's terrifying, but I think I can imagine that it is the most freeing, wonderful, weightless feeling that you can have. But it's just terrifying. I don't know if I could actually pull the trigger and make an appointment to do something like that. Make an appointment.
Would you prefer a locally famous hole-in-the-wall restaurant or a 1 Michelin star restaurant?
Local all the way. Okay. All the way. I love a dive restaurant or bar. And anytime I travel, it's a goal to find those local places.
Sure.
Not necessarily fancy or high rated or whatever, but those like good, gritty places.
Absolutely. What's your favorite time of day?
Morning. I'm an annoying morning person. I believe I called you the other day and said, good morning, around 8:00. So sorry about that, but I've always been a morning person. That's where most of my energy comes from. And I'm really on in the morning. It's when I'm really productive. And although it's annoying, I know that.
No, it's not annoying. I actually have heard that. I've heard that you are most active, or your brain is most active, around 5 a.m.? Do you wake up that early or a little bit later than that?
About 6.
Okay, later. So around the time.
Yeah, still early.
How can we support Ripple Consulting?
So there's 2 different ways. First and foremost, I would say just, during this time of, I hate to say things that are repeated over and over and over again, but sure. It is an uncertain time. And what has really helped me with having a newer business, I'm not even a year old yet, is support and community. Absolutely. And, you have been incredibly helpful, along with many other female business owners, especially. I'm lucky to have the community of NAWBO. Very lucky to kind of serve on that board and have that support, and just be able to have access to others that are going through, a similar situation as me. Just having a small business, it's relatively new. Just being able to pick up the phone and call somebody, it means the world. The other way to support Ripple Consulting Group, I am looking, my background is in healthcare. I've been in healthcare for quite some time. And I also have been in financial services. I mentioned I had worked for a bank, actually 2 banks now. But really my focus now is healthcare. And so I'm looking for a healthcare system, physician practice, or senior living company that might need help with a special project or an interim leader. And I would love to provide some support at this time.
Awesome. How are you leaving a legacy that is notably you?
When I'm making a decision, I like to lead with what is good and what is kind.
Mm-hmm.
And not just in decisions, but just the way I treat people. It's not perfect every time, but I would love to leave a legacy of someone who has tried her best to do what is good and what is kind as much as possible.
I like that a lot. Katie, you survived 18 questions.
Yay!
How do you feel?
I feel good. It was
Good.
not hard.
No.
There were no lyrics.
There were no lyrics, no dancing today. Maybe another time. Well, Katie, thank you so much for joining us for 18 questions. We sure do appreciate you for engaging us with that. Are there any, last words that you'd like to say on how we can either support you or Ripple Consulting?
No, just want to say my website is rippleconsultinggroup.com. And I also want to do something special. I think I warned you about this, but I was ready for it, and I really want to use this prop. So hold on, okay?
Okay.
It's a surprise.
I'm dying.
Thank you, Aja.
Your villain voice? Yes. You're very welcome. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us. That is a first, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Thank you for allowing me to do that and for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
That's really scary.
I inserted my own question.
Katie, you bought a mask. I'm dying.